Hi, welcome back. By the end of April, I've spent my days making home decorations inspired by spring, fixing some clothes that has been sitting in my closet for a while, and cooking some Turkish delicacies. I've had these hydrangea petals for a while, not knowing what to do with them, but finally I came up with an amazing idea. I really love making DIY projects that is appealing to the eye, but also have a 3D effect. So instead of putting a photo in this frame, I placed the hydrangea petals. I removed the glass piece and cut a cardboard in same size as the glass piece. Hydrangeas will be glued onto this cardboard, and I'm using silicone to do that. I was going to put the flowers randomly, but then I noticed there are at least 3 different colors, so I preferred doing a gradient transition. I love roses. When I'm spoiled with them, I want to preserve them instead of throwing away. There are a couple of ways to do that. I tried dipping the flower head into the candle wax to keep their vivid color as long as possible. I saw this method in social media, and the content creator was claiming that with this method, the flowers last for months. Unfortunately, after a couple of days, naturally, the stem and the rose hip started decaying, causing the petals to fall off. That made me go back to the classical ways, which is air drying. When air dried, the leaves tend to crush and crumble, causing much mess. That's why I'm removing the leaves before drying. Also, I'm removing the petals that look old and pale. That gives the flower a fresher look. You can do that to your roses that you keep in water in a vase. If you remove the outer petals once in 2 or 3 days and change the water, they will look more vivid and alive for a long time. Removing the leaves for any flower that is not just roses before you put them in water also helps keeping the flower fresher longer, and you can avoid having a green disgusting color in your vase. Make sure to hang your roses upside down, this way their head will be straight instead of bending down. I have this long and wide floral vase that I've been using to keep my wrapping papers in, but I figured it would be much nicer to keep my dried roses in them. So I've been drying roses for a while now to keep this large vase full. Finally, it's looking more like a large bouquet of dried roses. And to be honest, air drying pretty much preserves the color. They all look vivid and pretty. I bought these loose pants a while ago, knowing that it's way too long for me, for my legs. It's really expensive to take clothes to the tailor in Norway, as opposed to in Turkey. And if I take it to the tailor, buying it from sales will mean nothing. So I was trying to find a solution for this, and I don't have a sewing machine, although I really want to have one day. But I saw that there's a sticky hand tape that you can use to adjust the height of your clothes. I found this randomly and I was so happy to see it because I could finally fix some of my clothes. So I started with this pants. It's so easy to use. You just need to take the measurement, how much of the pants you want to shorten. Then you basically put it inside the sleeves, fold it over the hem and go over it with the iron a couple of times. The iron will make the hem melt. So right after you use the iron, try not to take it apart because the hem will still be hot and you will ruin it. Wait for it to cool down. The pants were extremely long, so I did my best. It's still tiny bit long, but it looks really cool with the high heel sport shoes. As an alternative, in a piece like this, you could cut the sleeves and decide the height accordingly. I didn't want to do that. I was afraid that the fabric would ravel out. I'm happy with the result. I wore the pants the next day. The metal brand name tag of this blouse was unstitched, so I quickly fixed that too. One of my favorite pickles of all time is the cucumber pickles. And this one is something we do in my homeland, especially my mom used to make that a lot. It's so quick, it's so easy, and it's ready to eat the day after. Ingredients are pretty basic. You use cucumber, salt, and garlic, and a little bit water. This is not a pickle to save for winter. You have to eat it within a couple of days, and it's better to keep it in the refrigerator. You just need a container with a lid. It can be a plastic. It doesn't have to be a jar, especially a new jar with a new lid, since you're supposed to eat it very quickly. I didn't show it here, but we cook some onion in oil and then add this right into it. But before that, check how salty it is. Sometimes it can be much more salty than it should be. In that case, you can wash it a couple of times. If it is extremely salty, you can use hot water. It helps removing the excess salt. But don't keep it in the hot water too long. Just wash it maybe once or twice, taste, and then decide accordingly. Optionally, you can add chili in the pickle or when you're cooking it. I made myself a very quick, very easy microwave style cake. Just mash one banana, add one egg and whisk them. 1 or 2 pinches of salt is always good to add in your desserts. Add cocoa. You can use 1 or 2 tablespoons, or you can add more if you like it darker. Add half a spoon of baking powder, and to taste I added a couple of drops of vanilla extract and baked it in the microwave between 5 to 10 minutes. Time to time, after 5 minutes, just use a toothpick to check if the middle part is baked. It's really simple. It doesn't have added sugar. It's just the taste from the banana. And it was extremely tasty. On to the Turkish delicacies. There is a green pepper called Charleston biber. It's not commonly sold in the stores here in Stavanger, and if I want to buy it, I have to go to Turkish stores. But sometimes, by luck, I find it in some of the larger stores here. So I finally found one day, and immediately I wanted to make menemen. Menemen is a tomato dish. We use crushed tomatoes, onion, green pepper, and eggs. Cook this for 5 minutes at least, then crack some eggs. Ideally, this dish should be a little bit with the liquid because I used tomatoes in bad shape. They didn't have much juice. and normally we eat it dipping the bread in it because the sauce is so delicious. I'm boiling some potatoes on the side because I will make börek. It's not exactly going to be a Turkish börek because we don't have yufka in Norway. Yufka is a filo dough. Instead, I am using tortilla. Once the potatoes are boiled enough so I can mash them, I take them aside, mash and add some spices. You can use black pepper, chili flakes, also sumac. I'm using muscat. I love muscat, but you don't have to. I made the nettle powder the other day, so I'm using this in it too. You can use different salad greens like chives, garlic, spring onion. I had some spring onion, so I'm adding that too. And as a twist, I'm adding some dandelion flowers. To soften the tortillas, I'm making a water bath, adding just salt to it. Dipping the tortillas into it, making sure each side of it is properly wet. Tortilla is technically way too thick for this, but that's what I have, so I have to make the best out of what I have. Filling the tortillas, folding them in triangular size, and frying them in the pan. You can add here a type of cheese that melts. We use kaşar in Turkey. Afiyet olsun.